55. Explain the changes in the army as a consequence of the First War of Indian Independence on the East India Company. Or, 4 marks. How was the army organized after the First War of Independence? Or, 4 marks. What impact did the uprising of 1857 have on the change in the army of the British? Or, 4 marks. Mention the changes that were brought in the status of the Indian sepoys after the uprising of 1857. 4 marks. Answer dash. 9. Changes in the army dash. A. European troops were kept in key geographical and military positions. B. The earlier policy of excluding Indians from the officer corps was strictly maintained. C. The organization of the Indian section of the army was based on the policy of balance and counterpoise or divide and rule so to prevent another anti-British uprising. D. In order to discourage nationalism, measures such as introduction of caste and community in most regiments were taken. E. Newspapers, journals and nationalist publications were prevented from reaching the Indian soldiers, which kept them separated from the life of the rest of the population. To prevent nationalist feelings from growing in them. F. The general population principle adopted was that the number of Indian sepoys should not exceed twice that of the European troops, hence the strength of the European troops in India were increased. G. The sophisticated weapons and ammunition were not placed under the charge of the Indians. Nature of the war. 56. What was the nature of the First War of Indian Independence? 2 marks. Answer. The uprising began as a fight for religion and ended as a war of independence as the revolutionaries wanted to get rid of the alien government and restore the old order of which the King of Delhi was the rightful representative. 57. Mention any 2 drawbacks of the First War of Independence. 2 marks. Answer. 2 drawbacks of the First War of Independence are dash. I. The movement had no common goal before it except for the anti-foreign sentiments. And 2. Some of the rulers of the Indian states and the big zamindars refused to join the movement. Additional questions dash. 58. Explain how the uprising of the First War of Independence of 1857 gave rise to nationalism in India? Or, 2 marks. Explain the rise of nationalism as a consequence of the First War of Indian Independence. 2 marks. Answer. The uprising of 1857 was the first struggle of the Indian people for freedom from British imperialism. It paved the way for the rise of the national movement. The sacrifices made by Rani Lakshmibai, Nana Sahib and Mangal Pandey served as a source of inspiration for the future freedom fighters. The heroic struggle also established valuable traditions of resistance to the British rule.